trying that long range shot and then doing a follow-up to see whether they can pull, at least reduce their deficit in this game.
Free kick to Benin. Zinsu fouled by Naomi. The Breeze get her in this opening half for Burkina Faso. And the free kick has been taken by Melhat Titilola of Benin. Munifatu with a good interception. Saudatu steals the ball off temporarily for Benin. And that is Teresa's strike. Benin's Rashida to Mumuni to Sadatu. Another great block from Helbi Munifatu of Burkina Faso. Benin with possession for the temporal moment. Florentine chases for that ball. And that was when Eunice had a head start with a free kick being awarded to her. A swift one taken. If you just joined, you're watching the live coverage of the WAFU Zombie U Girls Cup, an inaugural tournament which began on the 20th of last month and is ending today altogether. Don't forget, 6:30 p.m. the grand finale live on Max TV. Another Hollywood pass, huge one. Rashida to blocks, and they have just realized that their player Naomi Adeli Kabri is able to run into space, and they are feeding and sending her the supplies just as she wants them, and she's producing results for her team, Burkina Faso. Solo effort from Burkina. Monifa to Helbi to Salamatu. A chance for Burkina, and then Lara Abeku intercepts. Khadija to Imoro on the ascendancy. Throw in. Khadija to Imoro. All that she always wants is to get a very good supply. If only she's well fed, just as Naomi's been fed, perhaps she can get a goal for them in the first half.
Esther, earlier on, I saw Naomi having a grumbling face and then just fighting with a winger because she was in a good position, waiting patiently for the ball to drop so that she could slot in. Because when it happens like this, it means she is in with the top goal scorer, Esther, in fighting for that. She's had 5 goals now. These 2 goals are made her gone up by 5 goals now. So definitely, she's looking for more goals. At least 3rd place team, if they should have the bronze medal, she can be fighting or edging on for the top goal scorer with Esther.
Esther Ogbeyemi Ajakaye of Nigeria is already on 5 goals in the tournament. She's having 6 goals to her credit, and then Esther Onyezide, a compatriot, is equally on 4 goals in this tournament. So that is how it is at the moment. Whereas Naomi Adeli Kabri of Burkina Faso is having 5 goals. She was already having 3, and having gotten 2 in this game means that it takes her tally to 5. So if she's able to get other goals, she might just be in very good position to contest for the top scorer of the tournament. Naomi Adeli Kabri. She's flooded with over 4 players of Benin. She manages to find Florentine, who is struck off the ball. The referee says that was a fair challenge. Get up and continue. Zinsu of Benin to Sadao to Imoro. And now Benin are gradually coming out of their own shell and trying to also explore the defense of Burkina Faso. Alimata Belem is taking things calmly. Don't forget, Alimata Belem, the captain of Burkina Faso, she missed a penalty in their game against Togo. And then when they were playing in the semi-finals against Ghana, and Ghana was already leading by 2-1. In the 83rd minute, she had a penalty that could have drawn blood and given her side that parity for them to have gone ahead to detect the winner through perhaps the spot kick. She ended up missing it. So she has a lot of things to make amends for. That is the captain of Burkina Faso, Alimata Belem.
Great play by both teams. They are now surging forward to see how they will be able to reduce their deficit. Benin is now surging forward to at least make sure they reduce their deficit before the very first half of it. And then this is how they are approaching to see their spaces in the Burkinabe defense to lure in goals into it. But definitely, as I said, the goalkeeper hasn't been tested. They need to be given long shots and long drives afar and then do the follow-up, because the Fatmatu has a place that anytime there is a shot, Fatmatu will have to fumble. There's always a second grab, and always if you're closer to her, you'll be at least having the laugh at the side of your mouth to get in the goals for Benin.
Bonifa to Helby of Burkina Faso has been offended. She looks very frail and fragile. She wasn't fouled. She just went and took to the ground. And perhaps that might possibly be for an injury that she was having. And that's just the referee has beckoned for them to take her off the field and attend to her. Water break has been declared by the center referee. So this is an opportunity for the two technical teams to have words with their players, and this will be very much beneficial to Benin's their coach, who has this with his team already trailing by 2-0. Look at the frustration he's venting out to his girls. He's surprised that they have indeed been so sluggish and caught ball napping on several occasions, allowing these girls in red and white to have the better sides of them. That is what most coaches do not like to have. Look at how he's so furious with them, understandably so. All the goals that they conceded were quiet, a very poor defending from their part.
Look at the setup of the Beninois. 4-2-3-1. It's not enough to contain the three attackers from Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso is playing 4-3-3. Three midfields, three attack. And when they are surging forward, the two laterals joins the defenders, making it 5 in the midfield. Difficult for the Beninois to penetrate. This is how they do it. She has to, or he has to make sure he add another one, even if not two, even not one. They need to get about 2 tops to make sure they are able to set forward. If you are playing 1 top against 4 defenders, Esther, I don't think the setup for the Beninois is working for them today, and they are going to concede more goals looking at the setup that Pascal has set for Beninois.
Alimata Belem to Fauziatu. And Fauziatu is just enjoying herself. In all the games that she has played, she has been at the receiving end. She is fortunate to have her other counterpart from Benin, who is rather at the receiving end, while she enjoys in goal post, just as Ingbechi of Nigeria has always been doing in their 4 games that they have played in this tournament. She's rarely tested by players. Benin, Sadatu Immoru, Sadatu to Eunice. And they take their time looking at how they are playing. Khadija too gives possession to Benin. She gives the possession away, of course, and then they reclaim. Seems like that talk from their coach was trying to work magic on them, but that was temporal. Naomi Adeli Kabri for Burkina. Melhad fails to control. Throw in 30 minutes. Burkina Faso 2, Benin 0. And substitution has been made by Burkina Faso. Angie Kelly Nayaga, who is on 3 goals, has been introduced. She is replacing Monifa to Helby, who has picked a knock and is unable to continue with the rest of the game. You might say that that is quite a bit fortunate incident for Burkina Faso, that this happens to be the last game and their main player Monifa to Helby is injured and wasn't able to continue with the game. Had it been in the middle of perhaps just when the tournament began, that would have been a huge blow for them. But Auntie Kelly, it's a very good replacement for Monifa to Benin with the first incisive attack. And that is a failure by Fideli to just come out with a strike, or better put, find a player that was well stationed to do that for them. Olivia Theresa Fauziatu of Burkina Faso to her captain Alimata Belem, and there she's just walking with the ball. 2 goals to be good. You should understand why they are enjoying themselves on the field. Throw in. Latifatu is resting. She's nearly or rarely tested in their game against the Black Princesses of Ghana. Latifatu soiled. She really toiled on that day. She found difficulty dealing with Helen Alomenu and Stella Nyameche on that particular day in the semi-finals. But here she is, less tested. Olivia Theresa delayed in releasing the ball. Benny Zinsu and Burkina win possession. Salamatu Kwanda to Latifatu, and Latifatu engages her goalkeeper Fauziatu. Ali Mata Belem, who is already having 2 assists in this tournament, to her teammate Diana Cynthia Kabori. As we approach the 35th minute, with just 10 minutes to end the opening half, Naomi wins a free kick. Eunice Sagbohan was the one who committed that foul, and she needs to be extra careful. She's already on a yellow card. She can't afford to get a red card. That will be double misery and jeopardy for Benin in this encounter.
Beninois are now devastated at this point. They don't have anything to lose. They need to open up and see what they are able to do, because as it stands, Burkina is leading by 2 goals to 0, and then they seem not to find antidotes to their problems. They are not surging forward. They are slow in their build-up, and they don't position themselves well for at least to receive the ball and then make an incursion on it. But they need to, because this is a fair play. Balls are played in the second half, and automatically you can get your way out of it. If you are able to pull one back before the half time, then you know what to, or the plan B for the second half. But if they are relaxed and then they don't know what to do to it, then Esther, they are just giving up the 3rd position.
Zinsu of Benin took Khadija to Imoro, but she has Latifatu to tussle with. Throw in to Benin, 35 minutes. Khadija to poorly controlled. Naomi Adelik Habri, free kick, very slippery. She smiles, but she would have just loved to have skipped away without taking a tumble. That would have been a plus for her. Burkina Faso Salamatu Sadatu Imoro with that committed block to deny Salamatu the chance of making it 3 for Burkina Faso in this game. In the final 10 minutes of the first half, Burkina Faso 2, Benin 0. WAFU Zombie Under 20 Girls Cup live on Max TV. And this is a tournament that WAFU has introduced, fresh as it is. And these girls, since the 20th of May, they've had the privilege, the rare opportunity of letting the world know who they are, what they stand for, what they are made up of, and what best they are good at. That is WAFU. Huge recommendations, huge felicitations to them. This is what we've all been craving for. The women's football will develop at its highest level in all the African continent, looking at how it has indeed evolved in Europe and other global parts of the world and continents. It is with passion that everyone would crave that Africa would get to that stage. Florentine for Burkina Faso. The header from Lara Abiku for the clearance. Khadijatu Imoro, but Latifatu follows her once again to the midfield and gets the ball off her feet. Khadijatu is a player that you can't allow to let her have her way in the game. And there they are involved in a tackle once again. Yunus to Fideli for Benin. Khadijatu. Free kick. Linda commits a foul. Free kick to Benin. And Zinsu will take this for them. And Khadijatu, just when she had the first control right, was about to position herself well, only for Linda to shrug her off the ball, and referee saw that Linda did not go for the ball, she went for the player. Free kick. Fauziatu would have to defend the first major task that she has at hand. Zinsu Meville to take for Benin. And Zinsu strikes on target, well punched away by Fauziatu. Fauziatu is having her reflexes right in this game. Something that she has rarely done in this tournament. Another double save for Fauziatu.
The Beninians needs to be shooting from all angles. This is one of it. As I said, they need to be positioning themselves from when they are giving that strike, so that at least with the rebounds you can be able to secure that final pass into the Burkina-based net. Definitely, Beninois are being slow in their build-up. They are not attacking their ball. They are not moving into spaces. They stay at one place and then they move around with the ball. It's not helping them. They need to run. They need to make that. They need to, first of all, slow down their game. Make sure they have the possession of the ball. Make a good surge run forward. And definitely, that striking ability from all angles will help them. But now they are not doing any of them. And then it's just that freedom and free for the defenders of the Burkinabes.
Burkina Faso have already lost a player of theirs, Monifa to Helby, to injury, and she was replaced by Angie Kelly in this game. They have another player now, but that player is Adeline Kabori. 40 minutes. Burkina Faso 2, Benin 0. Burkina and white and red. She limps off. If Adeline Kabori can continue, this will be another huge blow for them as well. A tournament that they came through. They've indeed played their heart out and are doing things right. This is the final game that they are playing, fighting for the bronze medal in this tournament. Angie Kelly for Burkina Faso with another Hollywood pass. She realized that Naomi Adeli Kabri would have loved to have it in between spaces, and she tried that, but that committed interception for Margaret ended up thwarting everything for Burkina Faso in their quest for that attack. Great turn from Eunice. Khadija to Imoro. And look at the job that Linda did to clear it off. Fideli. Benin with a player down. Referee plays the advantage because Benin are still in possession. Zinsu. And finally, referee stops play for Rashida Tumumuni to be attended to. 41 minutes was just less than 3 minutes to end the first half. Sadatu is hoping that her teammate Rashida Tumumuni is in good state and that it's not something that is a serious injury that would trouble her and deny her from continuing with the game. She's back and is able to do what she does best. Already on 2 goals for her country, Benin.
Beninois are making it easy for the Burkinabes to reach through. They break the ball, turn around before giving a pass. Sometimes you need not to even break the ball. You need to face the ball as it comes in and then you run through. But always making sure they are slowing down the pace or even the build-up of their game. They are not making a clear-cut incursion to make sure they destabilize the Beninois. They are all moving forward and definitely no one to pass it. They just play it into spaces and that's all. Whoever gets it, gets it. It's not really working for them. Pascal will have to come back with the second half with another strategy. Either than that, it means it's all good and victory for Burkinabe.
Offside against Benin. And it was Ziadatu Bukari who found herself in that offside position. 2 minutes to end the first half. Olivia Theresa. Fauziatu of Burkina Faso. Fauziatu to Diana Cynthia Kabori. And there, Burkina Faso with 2 goals already. You might say they already have one of their hands on the bronze medal. Free kick to Benin. WAFU Zombie U Girls 20, a tournament that will be wrapping up everything this evening at 6:30 p.m. here at the Babayara Sports Stadium. The grand finale, the match awaited, the game that everybody is waiting for, the penultimate, where the gold is up for grab by either the Falconets of Nigeria or perhaps the Black Princesses of Ghana. That game is 18:30 GMT live on Max TV, equally been streamed live on Max TV's Facebook page. Burkina Faso, Naomi Kabri Adeli with a strike, and that is what Godwin would save. All 2 goals that Naomi Adeli had scored in the early minutes of the game were goals that Godwin couldn't find antidotes to. Alimata Belem would have this under control. The 45 minutes is up. It will be 2 minutes of additional time. Theresa Eunice gets the ball for Benin with a first good turn. Finding Melha Titilola of Benin. Zinsu And Latifatu intercepts. Salamatu Kwanda. Throw in to Benin. And Benin are trying to at least up their game as they seek to reduce. Naomi retrieves and gets this ball going for Burkina Faso. Florentine with a huge pass to find Naomi. But Maville did the job rightly there. Linda gets the ball. Free kick to Benin. Free kick. But had Titilola was asking the referee that should have been a bookable offense. Referee been lenient in this instance, and that is the nature of referees. They hardly react. There are times they would have to give words of cautions, and there are certain actions and offenses and fouls that they don't even think twice in showing a card. Benin, Khadijatu takes a tumble. Referee Sporting Incidents rightly says that wasn't a penalty and that game should continue. Burkina Faso, Angie Kelly with a nice one as they surge, but that job would be done this time around by Margaret. And there the referee blows her whistle to end proceedings for the first half, for a battle for the third place in this tournament. And this lady you're short, Naomi Adelik Habri, is the player that has gotten all the 2 goals for Burkina Faso in this particular game. Huge first half in terms of results for the home team. Burkina Faso 2, Benin 0. Great performance and all from Burkina Faso and the 2 teams, and Benin would have a lot to do in the dressing room during the recess from their technical team.
Hey, catch it! Don't watch you! I don't want anything to go wrong on my baby's day.
Yeah, warrior.
In fact, watch some anyone. Sasha, I'm going to wash room, Brawati.
Hey, subhanallah. If it hey,
Jesus, I'm already wearing a pad. Can I relax?
No, my day is ruined, you guys. You don't understand.
Take this.
Everyone is talking about it. It has a super soft cotton feel.
I've lived and lived, but not you, my daughter. This is Reflow sanitary pads. They are heavy pads, have 4 wings to prevent leakages.
once a reflow senkai, it's up to 10 hours of absorbency. The diapers are what JJ uses.
And no one am a debua uniano manu na a strong cobra.
See?
Afei na twere ensem a ese moni dua na ba mfa na haban ensa yale na abamu. Dr. Tam da so ama oyalefo bia nya anida so se ne yale befire ne so. Wo ebra wode nani akyerem wo medimafo heba clinic. Oyalefo ba ho na ohye na ebra empa ho. Gise de wawuo ana wasie no nko na ontumi. Abubuafo enante anifrafo esna panie. Stroke, diabetes, pressure na yale enkan ni nyina aye entatia case. Wasiesie na yale sabia ho kama. Doctor se fakakra bi beje wa yale sa wo Kumase abuakwa agogo. Oyalefo bia kai se udimafo ye medimafo heba clinic. Dr. Time daso.
Me sorry anopa enam se me din nafa lady clean ne siesie me hunti no eni chi a me de sorry efrim pam eya sonko adwuma mu nso mitumi keka me ho ɛyɛ adwuma yie sɛne yɛsɛ ɛnam sɛ mede nafa lady clean ɛna esiesie me ho People adwuma aho keka ɔde bɛfie ɛdɛm me stretch kra ɛnam sɛ mede nafa lady clean ɛna esiesie me ho nafa lady clean ɛyɛ feminine hygiene washer ɛboa esiesie ɔbaa wahemfie ɔmra wontin ka bɔne bia nafa lady clean feel confident with nafa lady. This advert has been vetted and approved by
everybody knows Acrobato, and if you knows Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. As an international journalist and actor, my health is my priority. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar in terms of my health. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. Sister, please, let him talk to you. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Chesena me ankasa me period na say problem is wom. Ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chesena nya asem ketewa. Na me coin point no mo hwe me modem no mo hwe bibia na so mo meduro a me faae no ene ma won kura mienu hofro kwa na me coin mu a eba. Ti ani je dia ba fie pa.
You heard everything yourself.
Me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante. Ene ne ko end point o mama nunu a ene ne ho eden a watimi asori anante.
That's end point for you.
Of Acrobato.
Hello.
Hey, ohwehwe what che.
Okay.
A free bra would the end point what dance. I'm a choir no. Me Johnson say my name koye and person my emre nyina and imagine sabema. Na me be fear for there. E ho de nyina jaresa.
You heard everything. I have secret. End point is my secret. End point homeopathic clinic. I'm free.
Gainike. Yede nchia stronko free Iona Pharmacy mamunyina. Yede Gainike syrup aba. Gainike eboa eyi afichikro emu haw ahodo te se afichikro a emayi de etutusi basabasa ene afichikro mu yaw ahodo no nyina efiri hokra. Gainike boa ema atenka akofem no san peja ne mu yie pa. Gainike boa yema menomu a wanya menopause. Eho haw ahodo te se ohonam a ehyehyew na eyira wo no abufuo atete ene de atete saa no nyina. Gainike brena sekra adrei enkoda oni mfie edumienu entumi mfabi obenya bi ewo pharmacy license chemical shop ana herbal shop a eben mu pendodo atu a frɛ Iona Pharmacy. Gainike ebeye wo de FDA ahwehwe adwadie nkrato mu agye atum se eye.
Welcome back from the break. It's Burkina Faso 2, Benin 0. Half time here. Slow build up from Beninois. They are not making any clear-cutting incursion here, but Burkinabe are moving on to victory. It seems they are the ones who have the eye for the bronze medal. It has been, let's say, a tactical first half here for the Burkinabes, who have taken all their chances, making sure they are leading here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. But for the Beninois, I don't know what they are still waiting for. It's the finale, first 45 minutes, still asking themselves questions, and they have no antidote to it. They are dropping too deep into their own half, giving the chances to the Burkinabes to operate in their half. But looking at the Burkinabe, they have pinned down the Beninois to their main half and making sure they are taking chances. This is where Naomi Adele Kabri, who has a brace in this goal, taking her to 5 goals, chasing to see if they should have even a hat-trick or even more goals in this tournament, could let her fight with Esther Obeyemi Ajakai of Nigeria in the top goal score chart here at the WAFU B U-20 girls tournament here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium in Kumasi. It's the 3rd and 4th place. And as at the 45 minutes, it is the Burkinabe who are showing signs that they need to go for the bronze medal in the inaugural part of this tournament. This is the build-up, and that is Naomi in your shot there. So the first half, this is how the highlight of the first half in this very particular game here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. So that was the Beninois clearing their chances or clearing all balls in their half. But how or how many minutes did it take them to the 8th minute when Adele Cabri made sure he breaks the defense of the Beninois, taking the lead for the Burkina Faso from there. So first incursion, beautiful clearance by the Beninois, but little did they know or how many minutes could they have even held on to that defensive role or deep defending to take so. So that was a true pass for Naomi, and look at the great run, the pace, the strength, and then place it very well that the goalkeeper didn't have an antidote to it. Look at the strength, look at the intelligent play, and then look at the sneaky cheek in between the two defenders. A great run, first touch, first control, and then the left strike into the net, the yearning net of it. That's Burkina Faso leading by a goal to nil. And then the match started again. Beninois tried to open up and see if they could pull one back, but yet it didn't work out for them. Beninois and then Adele with another solo run made a clear cut, but the defenders could have done better. But how on earth could that feeble shot or feeble strike take a deflection, bounce on it, and goalkeeper also not defending or clearing that lines that resulted in a second goal? So now Burkina Faso at this juncture are leading the Beninois by 2-0, and then we will see how they will be second half coming up onto the good. Either they should come and manage the team, or will Benin come back with a different mindset to fight for that third spot? Only another 45 minutes will be determined. But the Burkina Bay haven't made a clear, trust me, they haven't made any clear incursion. They are just shooting back from afar, and they are not even pushing, surging forward to pull or make a threat to the Burkina Bay defense. They are on holidays as it stands, and then it's very, very, very awful here at the moment. It's Burkina who is having all the rosary, enjoying their game and making sure they are taking all to the final half of the first 45 minutes. So Burkina are living their glory, living their dreams in the inaugural edition of the U-20 WAFU B Cup happening live in Ghana. We are live on Max TV, and everyone will have to be glued to your set and then watch the Burkina Bay take on Benin in the 3rd and 4th place. So this is how they operate. Even though they have the time, they surge forward, they are not clinical. They have a ball break, turn around before they do that pass, and it's slowing their pace down. It seems when they get the ball, they don't know what to do to it, just to pass and then move into empty spaces, and then 1 or 2 passes is being taken away from them. They are not pushing the defenders. And the first clear cut that they did, they made a clear incursion, but they should be trying the goalkeeper of the Burkina Bay, Fawziatu is a goalkeeper, unless she's been really worked on for these few days, because she is a keeper who doesn't grab a ball for once. She is always going for the second ball, place it down, and then go for the second ball. She has no chance in grabbing one ball at a time. So if the Beninois wants to make a second turn or return in the game and make sure they come back to win this game, they need to be trying shots from all angles to test Fawziatu. Maybe, who knows, a feeble or a mistake could lead into the yawning net or an end goal. So it's the maiden edition of WAFU B U-20 Girls Cup, Ghana hosting this tournament. And it's the 3rd and 4th place, Burkina Faso taking on Benin. And at the first break is Burkina Faso, who is leading Benin by 2-0. Naomi Adele Cabri having or grabbing that brace in the very first 45 minutes. Very soon, they are on the pitch. And then we'll be going through the second 45 minutes to see if Burkina Faso will be able to hold on to that 2-0 lead or they will add more to it. Already, as it stands, is Burkina Faso who is going for the bronze medal. I'll be handing over to Esther in commentary position to take us to the final 45 minutes of the third and fourth place.
Welcome back to the Baba Yara Sports Stadium for the second period of this game involving Burkina Faso and Benin. The first half, Adeli Naomi Kabri had 2 goals for Burkina Faso to give them quite a very good caution in this game, and this is a battle for the bronze medal. Not to forget the fact that at 6:30 p.m. or 18:30 GMT, the grand finale will take place at the same venue. But until then, Burkina Faso have the next 45 minutes to ensure that they protect the 2 goals that they had in the first period, whereas Benin, on the other hand, who have gotten us started with those that would have to chase for the ball, they have the next 45 minutes to ensure that they renegotiate for better results that will give them a good result that would see them being able to at least go to the penalty kick through getting those equalizers. Lender for Burkina, but that was a foul throw against Burkina Faso. The advantage to be enjoyed by Benin. 11 games played so far in this tournament. This is the 12. And looking at the games that have been played, 51 goals have been scored in all, including the group stages. And the team that has scored the most of these 51 goals is Nigeria. They've scored 19 of these goals. And these are the goals that per the stats averagely in every game Nigeria does have over 3 goals in those games that they have played. 4 FS. The host nation Ghana, on the other hand, who will be playing at 6:30 p.m. a team that is seeking forward Naomi Adeli Kabri, but Rashida Tumumuni did not allow her to just skip away with ease. She wins the possession for Benin. Zinsu ends up with a pass that has no one in sight from her team. Ghana, a team that will be playing in the grand finale at 18:30 GMT today, on the other hand, also have scored 9 goals out of these 51 goals from the group stages. And these 9 goals that they have scored, 3 have been scored each by their 2 key players, Stalin Ameche and Mefia Nyame. So that is how these players have been producing the best of results and the best of goals, just as we witnessed in the first period that Naomi Adeli Kabri had 2 great goals. The vision that she had in executing these goals, it's something that her coach would indeed give her a thumbs up for. Benin, Naomi for Benin, and there they end up not being able to keep it, the possession, in a very good manner, as they've always been doing. Throw in. The throw-in has been taken by Florentine of Burkina Faso. Free kick for a push on Lara Abiku of Benin. Sadatu Imoro. In 3 games, this making it the 4th, Benin have conceded 8 goals in all. Burkina Faso, Naomi Adeli Kabri once again for Burkina, sprouts away with ease from the first challenge, but not from the second of Margaret, who gets the ball away from the half of Burkina. Linda to Naomi once again, and that was well spotted by Godwin. 50 minutes, 5 minutes through in the second half. Fideli gives the ball to Burkina Faso's Angie Kelly. Sadatu Imoru raises her head, looking for Melhat Titilola. But nice interception from Rashida Tumumuni once again. Had it not been for communication lapses, Benin would have had quite a very good defense in this tournament. And just to remind you that the team that came to this tournament without scoring a goal until they were eliminated were Niger. Niger did not score a single goal in this tournament, and they conceded as many as 18 goals in the 3 games that they played. A tournament that they will learn a lot from. A lot of lessons to be learned. And looking at the fact that this is a huge tournament altogether for them, that means that in their next tournament that they would appear, they would have a fair deal and ideas of how such tournaments usually unfold, and would prepare very, very well. Throw in to Benin. WAFU Zone B U girls cabin held in Ghana. Just in few minutes, the big game would be underway. Florentine to Angie Kelly. Angie Kelly to Naomi. Adeli Cabri of Burkina Faso, who is looking for her first hat-trick in this tournament. Angie Kelly comes and supports Naomi. But Rashida to Mumuni with a good job. Khadijatu for Benin sent the ball back to Khadijatu, but that was an excess. Linda for Burkina. Burkina Faso finds Diana Cynthia Kabori, and Fauziatu will get her first engagement in the second half of the game. Diana Cynthia Kabori of Burkina throw in against them. Second half, and Benin are still sluggish in their approach. Zinsu with a nice flick to Khadija to Eunice, and Zinsu makes it right with a second attempt. Linda Claes throw in. Throw in to Benin, and Benin will be taking this. Khadija to for Benin. Khadija to Eunice, and Zinsu, the captain extraordinaire of Benin. A very good set piece taker. Olivia Theresa of Burkina to Adeline Kabori. Free kick. Alima Tabellam, the captain of Burkina, earns her side a deserving free kick. Substitution for Benin, and that is enough for Fideli in this tournament. She's been replaced by Damilola. Another second substitution, a double one aimed at looking for positive response. Zinsu Meville, the captain, has been substituted in the game as well. And that means that Yasminat Jibril takes over for Zinsu for the remaining minutes and the rest of the tournament. Different substitution, different tactics being looked at from the technical approach of the Beninoan side.
Let's see what this substitution will bring to the Beninois, because definitely if they are doing this, they are leaving it too late. Let's see if they could make clear incursion or even pulling one back or seeing how they could do it, because second half definitely coaches have two different tactics as in which they approach the game. But Burkina Faso have already taken the lead. This time around, they don't need to do much more, but just to manage the game and see. If definitely Beninois are not able to make a clear incursion, then they could be punishing them much more. But looking at it, it seems it's okay and then good for Burkina Faso to operate their passes and make sure they manage this game till the final round of the 90 minutes.
Burkina Faso, who are leading in 55 minutes in this game by 2-0, can't get to see of wonderful 2 solo goals scored for them by their main player, Nawomi Adeli Kabri. This is a country that has 18 teams playing in their women's league, and that is how good they have been. Burkina saved by the bell. They were left off the hook, and that was when Olivia Theresa fumbled and was caught ball watching. Khadija too stole the ball off, and that was when the flag had been raised that it should be offside. A bit questionable though.
Yeah, it's too close to a call, but hey, they know what they are doing and it's being flagged offside. They have nothing to do. But they need to be striking from outside the box. They don't need to get into the box because, as I said, they have to do their work well. It's not really working out for them, but, well, offside.
Benin, in their attempt to make things right and get their deficit reduced, this would be a difficult task for them. They just have to produce 2 goals. But who would get these goals for Benin? That is the major question here. Cynthia Diana Kabori to Fauziatu, her goalkeeper. Adeline Kabori back to her captain Alimata Belem. A long pass, but that couldn't find Salamatu as they wanted, with Sadatu Imoro getting the ball rather for Benin. A difficult game for Benin, who came into this tournament in Group A as they were paired with Ghana and Ivory Coast. As per the format of the tournament, since it was 3 teams in Group A, it meant that the 3 teams, all of them would have to play 2 games. And in the first 2 games that Benin played, they were beaten 3-0 by Ghana. They made amends in their second and beat Benin by 5-2. Nawomi Adeli Kabri with the possession only temporarily for Burkina. Benin, nice interception from Diana Cynthia Kabori. And you would say that Benin are playing quiet and improved football in the second half, having been very passive in the first. Khadija too for Benin. And Cynthia Diana Kabori gets it off. Latifa too with a follow-up. She takes a tumble. Referee says fair challenge. She delayed before finally taking a decision. And Jabril is amused with the decision. Viamak, 60 minutes. Burkina Faso 2. Benin 0. Benin with a very good record in their second game in this tournament. And Latifa too is in tears. Coach of Benin, who is very furious with himself. He just can't become so anxious. You should understand him, especially if you are a coach. This is not what you'll be hoping to get from your girls. Burkina are about to make another substitution. Margaret for Benin skips away, sends a delivery, but Alimata clears. A follow-up headed away. And that is how close Benin have come in this game. Free kick. Imoro Sadatu gets free kick in the hour mark for Benin.
The substitution Coach Pascal did, I think, is making and proving to be that yes, this is what it has been to. They've seen the loopholes, they have made the changes, it's coming gradually. They are positioning themselves, but their final decision before even receiving the ball, they are not being watched with. They are not being decisive when they get the ball. They just place it anywhere. They are not looking at where their players are standing or their teammates are standing. They just place the ball in anyhow, and it's not going to help them. They need to start pushing as they are doing. It will help them, but they have to be shooting from afar. In around the box, it will be difficult for them to do that.
Free kick taken, wasted. Goal kick to Burkina Faso, and Khadija to Imoro. She's highly disappointed in her own self. Not even on target. Alima Tabelem for Burkina. Florentine. You would say that this was probably a pass to Godwin. And they made an attempt though. There was no play of hers for support. But she wanted to get something meaningful out of that pass that she had.
Obviously the direction was good, but there was no power or anyone in particular for that ball. But yes, they are still surging forward. This is what a striker or whoever it is needs to be doing. If you don't have your opponent or you don't have your teammate in the box, in around the box, at least you don't need to send the ball back. You still need to get it on target and see what. Maybe for all reasons goalkeepers do fumble when it comes to their decision in grabbing the ball might result into something else. As you see, the Burkinabes are now opening up the game, but I don't know whether they have left it too late. The defense or the midfield is now gelling, pushing much more forward. They've got so many women in the heart of midfield and which they are operating, but they need to be decisive. They need to be clinical when they push down the defense or the defense line to that box. You need to be making runs and then making sure that you put in position that it will make you have a great impact, not to be passing and then doing all sorts of unneeded tackling and then passes all around it.
Burkina Faso as a country, looking at how they started their game of football so far as women's sports is concerned. For their football, this is a huge one, a huge win that they had way back in 2007, where they had their first international game playing against Niger, and they won by 10 goals to 0. And that was indeed their highest margin in terms of victory that they have had for Burkina Faso as a team in women's football. And for their first appearance that they had internationally, which was the 10-0 victory over Niger, with their biggest win being that same result precisely on the 2nd of September 2007. And others have been asking what have been the biggest defeat of Burkina Faso in tournament. Well, that biggest defeat that Burkina Faso had was 3-0 defeat. They suffered in the hands of Ghana precisely on the 14th of February. That day, 3-0 defeat in 2004 was the biggest defeat that they suffered, and another one was equally against Mali when they lost 5-2. Benin, Khadijatu fails to score, and this Fauziatu makes a double save to deny Benin with a goal in this game. But that build-up from Benin was lively. Sadatu Imoro started from the left flank of Benin, took her time and sprawled away. Khadijatu miscued, but then a player who was well positioned, Jibril Ziadatu Bukhari, her attempt was saved beautifully by Fauziatu.
After Titi Lola missed that glaring chance, at least Ziadatu had a better place, clear view to place that ball in the yawning net. What was she waiting for? Just a feeble shot, and then Fauziatu has pounced on it. Good block, and then good save from Fauziatu this time around.
Benin looking the livelier. Fauziatu out of her post gathers, and the defense of Burkina is being jilted for the first time in this game. That hasn't been their narrative. They hardly fumble because they have their captain Alimata, who is also a central defender for them throughout this tournament. But they looked very jilty with that, and that could have been 2 goals in the space of 2 minutes for Burkina, for Benin in this game.
Benin is looking all poised, and then they seems to be attacking now. The changes that Pascal made has created a good chance for them, and now they are operating from the midfield. You can see they've taken control in the heart of midfield, and then they are surging forward, but they still need to be clinical. They have gotten so many chances that at least they should have been pulling one back now, or being on the level terms with Burkina Faso.
Substitution for Benin is the last game in this tournament, and that coaches are throwing in all their words. Ziadatu Bukhari is replaced in this game by Deborah as they continue their quest to get a goal. They couldn't get a single goal in their previous game before this. Benin on the ascendancy, but for the first time, Burkina Faso without any difficulty clear, but Benin get possession once again. Sadatu Imoro with another lovely delivery in the half of Burkina. She's surprised that that wasn't in the back of the net. Looking at the substitution, Zisu being substituted and Sadatu being pushed into the midfield role. She's doing the job well for them. That is the second attempt, very direct attack that she has initiated from the left for Benin. Corner kick taken And Benin with his attempt, saved by Fauziatu. 70 minutes, with just 20 minutes left for Burkina Faso to win the bronze medal. And that means 20 minutes for Benin to take this ball or game to the penalty shootout. Benin, they have taken over the midfield. We don't see much from Eunice. Neither do you see much from Linda or even Naomi Adeli herself, who has been shortchanged and not getting the supplies up front for the first time in this game. In the first half, all the balls were sent directly to her, and she had the result. She scored 2 for them. Sadatu Imoro, free kick to Benin. 70 minutes. Burkina 2, Benin 0.
Benin have all what it takes to play for at this very particular moment, because they are down by 2-0. They are surging forward. They are making all clear-cut chances. They are putting in the ball into the box, and then yet they are not calm when it comes to into the box to make sure they place that ball into the yellow net. They are still jittering. They are chasing after their shadows. So definitely they are eager to make sure they pull back and see what they are able to do. But this time around, there is a certain Fauziatu who is not making that mistakes that she's been doing or she did in the previous teams.
An interesting substitution being made by Burkina. Angie Kelly, who came in as a substitute to replace Monifatu Helbi, has been substituted again. She's been replaced this time around by Daniela Odrago. An interesting substitution. She came in the first half after Monifatu Helbi picked up a knock and wasn't able to continue. And less than 45 minutes, she has once again been substituted.
She seems surprised when she saw the being substituted, because for no reason, I don't know what she's done. She's been, or it seems that part of the field is being dominated by the Beninois. So this is where the coach has seen that they need to make a chance or a change before it becomes too late, because definitely that is the side or the midfield getting to that side of the pitch. That is where Benin have found themselves comfortably and they are operating for. So definitely they need to make that changes before it costs them that 2 goals to a draw. They can't afford to lose that 2 goals that they have taken the lead in the very first half.
Benin have been the livelier side in the last few minutes of this game, and still the coach is demanding a lot from them, because after they fell to 2 goals in the first half, they have still not managed to find the back of the net despite being lively in the last few minutes. And there he goes again. Yes, and demands for more from them, because they have only 13 minutes to end the game. This is a must-win game for them, but how can they do that? If you look at Benin as a country in terms of their football, they had the introduction of their Women's League way back in 2002. That means 21 years ago that they had the Women's League, all aimed at giving these girls the opportunity to also pursue their chosen careers in life and ensure that in entirety women's football is developed in Benin as well. And since they were established, this is a team that has produced lots of results, lots of performance as well in respective tournaments that they have attended. Melhad Titilola, and that was when Deborah, the substitute, couldn't get something meaningful out of that pass that she was fed with. Corner kick. Fauziatu would have to defend this for Burkina Faso. Corner kick taken. Handball against Benin. And that would mean that the advantage would go the way of the home side, Burkina Faso, in this game. Fauziatu. Linda for Burkina, 75 minutes. Cynthia Diana Kabori. And Benin have been the improved side in the second period. So you might be right when you say that this is a fair play. Whereas Burkina Faso enjoyed everything in terms of the start for the first half, Benin are doing that for the second half, with the exception of getting goals so far.
Burkina have settled in the game now, and then this is where they will have to make sure the remaining 15 minutes they manage the game to the third place. Benin have made a clear-cut incursion. They have come into the game. They have come of age in the second half. They have had the lion's share in the second half, yet they haven't been on the scoreboard as it stands. They will have to make sure, at least not for every sake, they should even pull one back to make it 2-1. But all these passes, all these nice passes, all this nice football they are playing in this second half, if they can't get just even one on target, it becomes so frustrating for their coach as well. At least they should pull one back to have a consolation in this game.
18:30 GMT is the grand finale live on Max TV. And it is the grand finale that every football-loving fan has been really yearning for this since this tournament started on the 20th of May. Burkina with a chance. Salamatu caught in possession. Goal kick. The Falconets of Nigeria will square it off with the Black Princesses of Ghana. A huge game for the grand finale. Meetings involving these two teams have always been very, very tough games. But before 18:30 GMT, let's enjoy the last 14 minutes of this game as Burkina Faso, in the absence of any eventualities, would end up as the bronze medalist of this tournament. You would be right to say that they did well. A first attempt on goal by Benin in the second half, not on target, and that was from Yasminat Jibril, who was brought in the second half, and Fauziatu with that dive.
The substitute Pascal made has made the Beninois. The substitution has beefed up the squad of the Beninois. They are now pushing forward, they are surging forward, they are making that great strike and then runs in around the box or in the half of the Burkina Bay. If they can find this form repeatedly, then they will be living their dreams.
Benin with a chance. Another lack of control from Deborah. That should have been a clear-cut opportunity for Benin to have gotten a goal. Alima Tabelem to Linda of Burkina, and Linda rubs and sprouts away. Sadautu gets it for Benin, but that lasted for only some few seconds. Deborah for Benin, and she is having her first game in this tournament, in this particular game. That is Deborah. Benin, Khadijatu is an offside position, and even with that, Fauziatu was well positioned to gather for Burkina.
Nicely set up by the Beninois are also not getting that clear chance. They are not making that clear intention. They should be positioning themselves well because they are making all the runs. They are getting all the that kind of luxury up front now. Now they have nobody to compete with. They have made sure they have destabilized the Burkinabe defense and they are having all the glory and the chances. But I don't know what they are still waiting for.
80 minutes, Burkina Faso 2, Benin 0. Cynthia Diana Kabori, free kick to Benin. And Eunice is fouled. And Linda, since the tournament began, he has really been a very good retriever for Benin in the heart of midfield as the defensive midfielder in the setup of the Burkinabe team. She was always well structured and well positioned, given the best of results. Deborah and Benin. Margaret of Benin. But she's back on her feet. 80 minutes. Alimata Belem, the captain of Burkina Faso, waiting anxiously. She would indeed be a delighted figure if she's able to lead her team to win the bronze medal in this inaugural tournament established by WAFU, aimed at an earthen talent and girls under 20 years, and in entirety it is well targeted towards the development of football in the West African sub-region. With 9 minutes to end the game, Lara Abiku gets free kick. Salamatu Kwanda, who replaced Congo Adama in this game, she has been a very good addition for Burkina Faso up front. Diana Cynthia Kabori of Burkina. Naomi gets on to that ball and she has Salamatu to feed with, manages to give her the pass, and how did Salamatu miss that? That could have just put the game to bed for them and would have given them a comprehensive victory over Benin. But look at that dip for a pass from Naomi Adeli Kabri of Burkina. Had only Salamatu scored, it would have been 2 goals and an assist in this game for Naomi Adeli Kabri.
Quality in this young girl. Look at her pace, her run, her strength when it comes up front. A goal poacher who knows what when she receives the ball, she knows how to position the ball. For her to anticipate and go for that
Benin in the half of Burkina Faso, but that run lasted only for temporary moments for Benin. Sadatu couldn't maintain her composure just when she had gotten into the half of Burkina. Deborah for Benin. Deborah sprouts away from one, went free kick.
Once you are dominating the midfield, you have advantage of being fouled as and when we are possessing the ball. Definitely, this is what the Beninois need to do, but they are not making it count. They receive the ball in the midfield, they make all the good runs, they place it into good position, but they are not clinical, and it's being wasteful in front of goal.
Free kick taken by Benin. Sadatu Imoro to Margaret. Burkina Faso with the clearance. Deborah Belhat Titulola, a handball. Referee points to the spot kick, and that was coming. The pressure in the last few minutes have been immense on the Burkina defense. Alimata can't believe it that her team are already conceding this penalty, and that would mean that we are in for Navy final minutes of this game. Eunice Segbohan would take it for Benin with just 5 minutes, and Fauziatu has to ensure that the leader of a team is not perturbed by making that critical save. The referee warning the players of invasion. Any invasion into the penalty hub would mean that there would be a retake. And so she given instructions to Fauziatu, who is aiming to ensure that her team does not concede through this penalty kick. But what is Eunice Sabuhan thinking of? She takes a breather, goes back, finding her slot and scores beautifully for Benin. Finally, Benin, they get a goal in this game with 4 minutes to end the game. That penalty was well taken. Fauziatu couldn't even move. It means we are in for the last crucial minutes of this game. Burkina Faso 2, Benin 1.
Benin will now have everything to be fighting for in the very last minute to at least equalize to take the game if into an extra time. They have fought for this second half, and then they have done extremely well to make sure they push through this, and having this consolation goal at least would boost what they have worked for in the very second half that they came on the pitch.
First half won by Burkina Faso. Second half, Benin have won in terms of the possessions, and in terms of the goals, they've gotten one. They are just left with one to complete 100% record in the second half, just as Burkina Faso had. Goal kick, 3 minutes to end the game. Godwin of Benin has not made save in the last 10 minutes of this game. It's been all about Benin. And the introduction of this young girl, Deborah, 17 years of age, who is having her first game in this tournament. In all the 3 games that Benin have played, this making it 4. This is the first time that coach has recomposed in her the confidence to start and be part of this team. And her inclusion has indeed been very good. And there she is with the possession for Benin. Jibril Yasminat. Benin and the fans are cheering them on to get that equalizer. Eunice, Benin, Khadija to an attempt. Benin, Khadija to misses. Offside. This would have been a very beautiful, dramatic end to this game. Alimata, Cynthia Diana Kabori, Latifatu and Adeline Kabori, all of them, they are just fumbling, finding difficulties, dealing with this very resurgent second half team of Benin.
I guess Titi Lola has let her team down, because obviously this is the 3rd time she's been flagged offside. Anytime they make that move, that beautiful pass that she could be in a very good place position to place herself or even shoot at goal, she is always found lacking and always going above the line, always committing that offside. It's not helping the team. If the team are pushing forward and surging forward, you need to position yourself to have that final third and make sure you shoot on target, not to be committing that offense.
Goal kick with just 1 minute to end the game. This has been quite a very beautiful game. All the two teams, I'm just really itchy and waiting for the grand finale, because if this has indeed been very beautiful, what then would be for the grand finale? And that is a very great end to this beautiful tournament organized by WAFU for these young girls. An inaugural tournament leaving up to the Benin. 90 minutes, Burkina Faso 2, Benin 1. Free kick taken by Benin. A header Benin, and Sadatu Imoro miscues. That could have been a positive one for Benin. Handball against Burkina Faso, right on the edge of the penalty area. What a very nervy moment we have with just 3 minutes on the dot as additional minutes to end the game. After this free kick was taken, the players and defenders of Burkina, in their attempt, and that was a handball there against Florentine of Burkina Faso. Referee spotted it vividly. Free kick. Could this be a goal for Benin? Poorly taken by Benin. And Yunus should have done better with that free kick, because that was the most opportunity that could have helped them get in the equalizer. Godwin. Sadatu Imoro for Benin, and we are just left with 1 minute. Alima Tabelem to Fauziatu, who gathers. This is why football has always been described as the game of uncertainties. If you look at how Burkina Faso were so dominant and very, very possessive with the ball in the opening half, you wouldn't have had ideas, not even for seconds, that Benin could have come into the game very strongly in the second period. But after some substitutions, the introductions of Deborah and then Jebro Yasminat, Benin have changed in how they attack. And that young girl, the Deborah, 17 years, proving to the coach why she should have played most of the games of her team in this tournament and not have been given some minutes in the final game in this tournament. Throw in taken by Benin. Eunice to Sadatu Imoro, who knows that she needs to pick this with the last 20 seconds to end this game. Linda to Naomi Adelik Habri. Balara Abiku Claes. And there the final whistle goes. Burkina Faso are the bronze medalists in this tournament. They beat Benin 2-1 to win it at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium after a very pulsating 45 minutes in this second half. And that player there who has taken to the ground, Naomi Adelik Habri, is a player that had those two important goals for Burkina Faso to give them this bronze medal. And indeed, she has been adjudged as the MVP of this game. Burkina Faso 2, Benin 1, and that is the score.
Hey, catch it. Don't boss you. I don't want anything to go wrong on my baby's day.
Yay! In fact, what shamani munyam pa?
Hey, subhanallah. If it hey, I'm already wearing a pad. Can I relax? No, my day is ruined, you guys. You don't understand.
Take this.
Everyone is talking about it. It has a super soft cotton feel.
I've lived and need, but not you, my daughter. This is Reflow's sanitary pad. Their heavy pads have 4 wings to prevent leakages.
Once a reflow in Kaye, it's up to 10 hours of absorbency. The diapers are what JJ uses.
And no one am a depot manu na a strong cra. See.
Afei na twere ensem a ese monyi dua na ba mfa na haban ensa yale na abamu Dr. Tam da so ama oyalefo bia nya anidaso se ne yale befire ne so wo ebra wode nani akyerem wo medimafo heba clinic oyalefo ba ho na ohye na ebra empa ho gise de wawuo ana wasie no nko na ontumi abubuafo enante anifrafo esna panie stroke diabetes pressure ne yale enkan ne nyina aye entatia case wasiesie na yaresa bia ho kama doctor se fakakra bi beje wayaresa wo kumase abuakwa ago oyalefo bia kaise udimafo ye medimafo heba clinic Dr. Time daso
me sorry anopa enam se me din nafa lady clean siesie me hunti no eni chi a me di sorry efrim pam eye sonko adwuma mu nso metumi keka me ho eye adwuma yie sane yese enam se me din nafa lady clean eni siesie me ho so people adwuma Kika or the befie edem. Me stretch your cra, and nam se me the Nafa Lady Clean, and the me home. Nafa Lady Clean, a feminine hygiene washer, a poor SSC or bar, wahimfi, or mra won't think of one idea. Nafa Lady Clean. Feel confident with Nafa Lady. This advert has been vetted and approved by
everybody knows Acrobato. And if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. As an international journalist and actor, my health is my priority. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar in terms of my health. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. Sister, please, let him talk to you. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Chesena me ankasa me period na say problems wom. Ntina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chesena nya asem ketewa. Na me coin point no mo hwe me modem no mo hwe bibia na so mo meduro me fire no ene ma won kra mienu hofro kwa na mkwan mu a eba. Ti ene je dia ba fie pa.
You heard everything yourself.
Me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante. Ene ne ko end point o mama no nura ene ne ho eden a watimi asori anante.
That's end point for you.
Of Acrobato.
Hello.
Hey, ohwehwe what che.
Okay.
A free bra wo di end point what dance. Ah me ko ye no. Me Johnson sema na enkoyie empeso na maye mre nyina na magina sebema na me no bifie for de e hwa de nyina jaresa.
You heard everything. I have secret. M-Punch is my secret. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. I'm free.
Gynike. Yede nchia stronko free Iona Pharmacy mamunyina. Yede Gynike syrup aba. Gynike. Eboa eyi afichikro emu haw ahodo te se afichikro emayi de etutusi basabasa ene afichikro mu yaw ahodo ni nyina efiri hokra. Gynike boa ema atenka akofem no san peja ne mu yie pa. Gynike boa yema menomu a wanya menopause. ɛho haw ahodoɔ te sɛ honam a ɛhyehyew na ɛyerayerawoɔ no abufuo atete ɛne deɛ tete saa no nyinaa Gynike brɛ na se koraa aduro yi nkɔda a oni mfie edumienu entumi mfa bi wobenya bi ɛwɔ pharmacy license chemical shop ana herbal shop a ɛbɛn wo mu pendodo atu a frɛ Iona pharmacy Gynike ɛbɛyɛ wo dɛ FDA ahwehwɛ adwadie nkratoe mu agye atom sɛ ɛyɛ.
Tuozafi ina kuke kuna dansoman da kuman awo shikane shi madina shukura kakudamu
Tuozafi ewo Max TV forecourt Dakuman Junction 1st of July unia Bramian Didi
damu in Tuozafi festival kowe zomu enjoy so say
nia wuhia ne wayowa
keji oyeje ni oliako oli Tuozafi homo ojuba ba ni obajie owana
Saturday 1st of July free and up at 9 cause here we are 2 p.m. Bra Max TV Dakuman Junction Beji Wediane
ni keji otao ni ohoni yejemenwe kona mane ni ochawo
Achedi enso Yanyu tufo
so mushi abinchi
Bramian Didi
si iwa kumema meja benshamiare.
The CAF WAFU Zone B Under-20 Girls Cup is here in Ghana. Burkina Faso and Benin will clash to decide who will be third in the Girls Under-20 WAFU Cup. Kickoff is at 3 p.m. It's another epic Ghana versus Nigeria final. It's the final of the Girls Under-20 WAFU Cup. Kickoff is at 6:30 p.m. Live from the Babayara Sports Stadium. You can also follow by Max TV GH. WAFU Zone B Girls Under-20 Cup. It's time for the girls. Proudly brought to you by Max Buy.
M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. I'm free.
Nafa Lady Clean.
Feel confident.
Dr. Time Naso.
Gynike ɛbɛyɛ wo dɛ.
It's all over here at the Babayara Sports Stadium where the third place has been grabbed by Burkina Faso, beating Benin by 2-1. They took the first early incursion. They made the job, or the job was done in the first 45 minutes. Burkina Faso made sure they grabbed that bronze medal. Benin came in strongly in the second half, but they were not clinical enough. They were a bit wasteful, so they were not able to make that clear cut, and then the chances being whisked away. But fourth place, 7 out of 4 isn't bad for them. They have taken consolation out of it for the fact that it's the maiden edition and they have come this far. We'll say thank you, but it's Burkina Faso who picked up the bronze medalist as the first or maiden edition of the WAFU Zone BU Under-20 Girls Cup live on Max TV. I still will be getting on the scene to see how it has been like. They are all joy and happy. And coming before, we saw Burkina Faso coming from Group B with Nigeria qualifying through the semi-finals, and they have made the third place team. Benin coming from Group A together with Ghana is now on the 4th position. So this is how the placement is being shaped up. One last match more to go, and then we'll be heading to the very final of the match of the day, which is going to be Ghana and then Nigeria. Big match, big match here. I still have Esther. I'll be getting closer to Esther to see how we'll be wrapping up this very match against or between Burkina Faso and Benin. So very first half, first half being taken by Burkina Faso, Benin coming in closely in the second half, but they were not able to do. This is how we go. Esther, you are here. Your very fair point on the match, the third place team.
I believe that we had quite a very good game altogether. I really enjoyed it myself from the commentary position. Having watched the first half with the dominance of Burkina Faso in the first half, and then in the second half, Benin took over. They became the dominant side, and they really excited their numerous fans who were here enjoying the beautiful game. I believe that this is an excitement that not only those here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium really had a feel of it, but then again to their fans who are in the respective two countries, who happen to be all of them Benin and French countries, all of them indeed produced the best of game altogether. Indeed, a game deserving for the second and third in this particular tournament. But then again, kudos to all the two teams that played. You realize that Burkina Faso, just as we rightly indicated when the game was about to start, that we were counting on a player like Naomi Adelikabri to be the outstanding player in the Burkinabe setup. And truly too, she lived up to expectation, especially in the first half, getting two crucial goals for Burkina Faso. And those were the goals that turned to be the savior of Burkina in this tournament, precisely for this game. And then in the second half, that was where the young sensation was introduced, Deborah, and she turned things around up front after the substitution, of course, of Zensu. And then we saw how Sadautu came in strongly and then helped the attack in the second half for Benin. And that is how come they became very lively and very dominant, and then ended up causing a very nervy moment in the dying embers of the game. On the other hand, too, for Burkina Faso, just to ensure that this tournament that was organized for these girls who are under 20 years indeed has given them something to show forth to the world of how good they are in terms of their respective talents.
Beautiful games these two teams have given us this afternoon. You can see Burkina Faso taking the first 45 minutes and then Benin coming in stronger in the second 45 minutes, thinking they could have turned things around, but hey, time wasn't on their match. It just needed Burkina Faso to just manage the game to the very end. And yet, the maiden edition of the WAFU Zone B Cup, Burkina Faso has picked up their bronze medal. We will be moving later, or maybe few hours to come. We'll see who will be the champion of this very tournament. We'll be going over and then we'll be coming back shortly. Stay glued to your television set on Max TV, and then we'll be coming back in the next few minutes to take you through or bring you the live coverage of the Ghana-Benin match. It's a wrap for me. Bye.
I don't want anything to go wrong on my baby's day. Yay! In fact, what shamani munyampa?
Hey, subhanallah. If it hey, I'm already wearing a pad. Can I relax? No, my day is ruined, you guys. You don't understand.
Take this.
Everyone is talking about it. It has a super soft cotton feel.
I've lived and lived, but not you, my daughter. This is Reflow's sanitary pad. Their heavy pads have 4 wings to prevent leakages.
Once the Reflow Senkai, it's up to 10 hours of absorbency. The diapers are what JJ uses.
And no one am a debua uniano manu na a strong cobra. See,
afei na twere ensem a ese monyi dua na ba mfa na haban ensa yale no abamu Dr. Tam da so ama oyalefuo bia nya anidaso se ne yale befire ne so wo ebra wode nani akyerem wo medimafo heba clinic oyalefuo ba ho na ohye na ebra empa ho gise de wawuo ana wasie no nko na ontumi abubuafo enante anifrafo esna panie stroke diabetes pressure ne yale enkan ne nyina aye entatia case wasiesie na yaresa bia ho kama doctor se fakakra bi beje wayaresa wo kumase abuakwa agogo oyalefuo bia kaise udimafo ye medimafo heba clinic Dr. Time Lasso
So me sorry anopa enam se me din nafa lady clean siesie me hunti no eni chi a me de sorry efrim pam eye sonko adwuma mu so me to make come me ho eye adwuma yie sane yese enam se me de